And welcome everyone to this week's installment of Unshackled. The sky is falling, says Chicken Little. Tonight's episode is basically your update notes, forum posts, our new information, welcoming our brand new, shiny, fresh meat CM. And I'm happy to introduce and lucky to have on this panel tonight with me is the great Fear the Peel, Jack Sparrow, Lady Warrior, who's smashing the hell out of bases right now, so excuse her for the moment, and the immortal one, the most intelligent player in War Commander, in his own mind, Dr. Phil.
In his own mind. Okay.
I love it. He's got to razz you once in a while.
Well, I just razzed you, so yeah, I kind of deserve that one.
Kudos. I'm sure that picture will be making the round shortly.
Oh, it will. It will. Well, since you're running the show, what's on the agenda?
Well, let's see. I guess the best is to start at the start. Let's start with our update notes, our downtime, and what we can expect in the near future. And we'll just play it by ear from there.
Well, on this week's downtime and release notes for November the 2nd, we have the following. The brand new Shadow Ops Operation Fallen Angels. For the gather parts for the Siege Squadron, which I posted some pictures of earlier on. If you're on the Unshackled page. If you're not, then tough shit.
Sorry.
Apparently, it drops deadly ravages behind enemy lines and see more details here. I have that in another tab. We can go over that shortly. An Alliance raid update. War effort durations have been increased across the board and new raid bases are on the map. In addition, brand new diamond tech for the following units are available as prizes. And of course, he's put some more details there. I think that's in something. I think I've got that open. I'll have to double check. Give me 1 second. I won't look at that.
You will.
Oh, no, it's in the radar. I've already got that one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We have new bases coming out all over the next week. This includes, now this is actually an update for the November content calendar, which there are a couple of changes that have been added to that. The Standard, Elite, and Omega Herald bases are coming out this week on November the 5th on the Sunday. We have brand new War Dog bases for War Dog bases, and I would assume War Dog techs as well, and the Technical Bonus Token base. And of course, for more details, November content calendar, which he's actually done rather well, and I'm only a couple of things down the list because he's linked to all of the threads that are there with the necessary information, which is excellent. General changes. We've asked for this for a very, very long time. A large number of inactive low-level bases have been removed permanently from the world map. This will improve general performance and correct relocation errors. So the sectors that are being locked down are going to stop being locked down for a while, at least.
Nice.
That's okay, Anton. It's okay. We're only a couple of minutes in. You haven't missed all that much.
Good job. Thanks for the invite.
Anytime. Bug fixes for the week. Fire at will stance engagement range has been increased to the correct values, which I remember a long time ago, somebody was on one of the shows and explained the range of the fire at will and the defend and something else compared to the actual range of the units. And I can't remember exactly off the top of my head what that was. So it'd be interesting I might have to go and talk to somebody about that. And get the information out and put it out for people to gather up, of course. The armory will no longer shift position when destroyed. I haven't built my armory yet, so that's not an issue for me. In some cases, players were unable to stop go-go bar battles. This has been corrected. I've seen that happen, and it's quite funny.
It is. Oh, sorry.
So that's kind of disappointing that that's now gone away.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of disappointing because it was pretty damn funny when it happened last week.
And the Shadow Ops will no longer display an incorrect number of parts. And I think that's only happened a couple of times in the past. So we'll go straight over. We'll have a quick glance over the content calendar, which we've come through already. Now, November the 1st update was pushed to November the 2nd for the raid update V.5. The Diamond Tech is changing. Now, he's actually taken... the new Diamond Tech is for the Acolyte, Detonator, and Apollo, but they are removing others, which is in that update.
Yeah, that'll be in the Alliance Raids update.
I'll get that one next. Of course, again, Shadow Ops Phase 14. Now, November the 5th is the first weekend of the Herald bases. The Standard, Elite, Omega. And they've actually put in... That wasn't there the other day, and that's actually not long gone in, which I'm quite pleased about.
That's very good there. Good move.
November the 6th for the War Dog base. I mean, a lot of this we've already gone through, but again, we've got November the 5th, November the 12th, and November the 19th for the Herald bases. All three types, the Standard, the Elite, and the Omega. So there's more than enough opportunity over the next month, or the next 3 weeks, rather, to get those parts. So there is the opportunity to do so, and then people can quit complaining about them.
Well, it's hugely beneficial to me. I use the event to collect the Omega parts for my Herald. Now I can go and use these to collect the Elite parts so that I can complete my upgrade path and actually get my Omega.
You went the opposite way. Good move.
Well, yeah, you get the majority out, and then you go back and get the 40 lousy parts easy.
In fact,
good move, actually.
I'm extremely pleased with the additional day. Although it's going to throw off, I mean, I have a list of things and what days and what levels and when it's going to be done approximately. Because I'm anal like that. There's a lot of lists for a lot of timers, and it's kind of cocked up what I had planned to do. So it's going to be more of a case of, am I going to go one way or am I going to go the other way, or am I going to continue to do what I decided I was going to do in the first place?
But it's good to have that wee bit of buzz and excitement, I think, there. You know what I mean? It's good to have that there.
It's the extra day, so if there are a lot of people that need help to get the Herald bases or need the extra time to do the Elite and the Omega bases, then people aren't worrying as much that they only had 2 weekends rather than now they got 3 rather than 2, which is great.
I think that's your best way to do things. There are 3 weekends to do something rather than 2.
Yeah, 3 weekends to do something like that, followed by, again, the monthly event on the 23rd. And the 29th for Raid V.6. And, of course, a lot of the other bases are going to spawn in the middle of that. The technical token base, the Omega Jug, the Standard Jug. A bunch of random crap are going to spawn in the meantime. Today, the Intel bases have resumed spawning their normal cadence. This first spawn will go all the way through to the end of Sunday. So you've got from now until Sunday to do Intel and raids and Intel and raids and Intel and raids and Intel and raids just to pass everything through. So speaking of Intel and raids, we'll pass on to this real quick. Because the brand new Diamond Tech does exactly the same as the others, which is increases damage dealt and decreases damage taken on the components in levels 1, 2, and 3. Again, 3 days, 5 days, and 7 days. For detonators, Apollos, and Acolytes. Now, they are removing some tech. There it is. Please note that Diamond Tech for the Liberator, Fury, and Purify will no longer be available from raid bases after the update went live. Now, I think the update went live earlier on. Because I didn't see a downtimer. I didn't see anybody complaining that the game went down. So I am assuming the game went down when I was taking a nap.
It went down for its the normal maintenance time. I believe it was at 10 a.m. Kickside time. I believe it was.
Oh, that was real early.
Yeah, it was very early. Maybe. Yeah, I don't remember exactly the time that it went down, but it was somewhere in that general vicinity.
These particular, it's not posted. It's not being posted here, but I know from what is being said that these things will be rolling. Every so often, they'll put them back in, and they'll take 3 out and put 3 back in, and it stops the influx of repeated tech. I mean, taking out the Liberator ones this early. I mean, Liberator, Fury, and Purify went in first. So
they should just leave all the tech in.
I would not say that's a thing.
Yeah, I would not do that. I'm sorry. I'm just, and I'll be blatant. This does not affect me whatsoever because I don't do raids. I don't get the buffs. I just don't. So
I've recently started doing them by myself, and I have those 3 techs already. So this isn't going to affect me either.
I do. I don't. Don't have the Purify one, so I'm pissed.
Yeah, I can understand. I mean, they'll come back. Like Dr. Phil says, this will eventually go into a cycle system. So your app,
they'll come back in like 5 months' time or some shit.
Well,
probably.
So far, they've started to do the new raid bases once a month. And I mean, the next set of raid updates happens right at the end of November, which is the 29th.
And that'll be
that particular update. There'll be 3 more techs come in and 3 other techs go out.
I won't see the Purified techs coming for like 4 months at least, probably.
You never know; they may roll them back in. Because there aren't that many units that are still in classification of Gen 1 that people are going to want to use the Diamond Tech for.
We'll have to wait and see.
Valiants and Seekers for a start off. And I guarantee as soon as that roll comes in, I'll get both of them before I get anything else. Because kicks eye. And of course, they have changed the war effort buffs. We have Destroyer, which is the attacking buff, which is, again, 1,000 supplies. It was 6 hours. It is now 12 for a buff of 25%. Again, for the Guardian, the new duration, 12 hours with the buff of 25%. And the last one is the Pillager, which now lasts for 12 hours and has the buff of 50%. And I see a crazy-eyed Wild Dobber Phoenix has just dropped in as well.
No. Hello, Dabba.
He is waving.
Yeah, I can see him.
So he must be a little on the busy side. Again, recommend saving your intel until the Thursday update is complete. Intel bases will be extended through all of Sunday. So, I mean, the changes are nice. I'd like to have my week-long buff back, but that's not going to happen. Maybe 12 hours is still a little on the shore. I'd like a day. A full day.
I agree.
I think that or they buff the amount of resources we get from the raids.
Yeah, or change the days the way they're not consecutive days, spread them out a bit like, your core basis and that there. That would help a lot more.
Yeah, it would.
That's only a suggestion, you know what I mean? It is what it is, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is one of those things. I mean, the guys that do the raids repeatedly. I mean, having the extra 12 hours is nice, but running it for a full day during events on the first day of the event would be a nice addition. Maybe think about bringing the second tier back and having them actually be worth something. Even if they are 48 hours, for instance, have them cost 2,500 supplies, last for 48 hours, have a 50% buff. Might be a little on the OP side, but
yeah, it might be. But
I'm literally just throwing out numbers at this point.
Well, aim for the moon and get a bit of the sky. You know what I mean? That's not a bad way to do it.
I mean, if I can throw out something ridiculous and then Kixeye can rebuttal with, well, we can do this and we can do this and we can do this, and see what you think of it, then we can sort of have that discussion as a player base and say, well, it's too much or it's not enough, and we can do that, like we're doing right now.
Yeah, but I think the way things are there, like we all want more and more and more and more, but we're sort of sensible about the way we sort of approach things and what we can get and what we can't get. You know what I mean? Yeah. Some things we suggest, we say, no, don't even suggest that. Like it's never even asked.
Others are not. Those others will remain nameless.
Yeah.
I thought they would name the new Shadow Officer Anton Airlines. I'm disappointed.
Well, you've got Anton Airlines right there. Look at that. That's a beautiful image, to be honest. Just to behold that. We've got some Anton Airlines right there, and he's surrounded by beautiful women with really big guns.
Yeah.
And there's Jack Sparrow with a
They
little
got some
gun
pretty
there.
good
Isn't that
weaponry
great?
too.
Yeah, I can see Jack Sparrow in the background. He's sort of on fire.
He's underneath that bomb.
He's looking for his gun
Like
again.
Hot Shots when it lands in his lap. Bye-bye Saddam.
He's looking for his cannonballs. That's what he's doing.
Hey, this when we get to this is another wonderful example of Kixeye listening to suggestions that have been played on shows, because this does follow something that was brought up on past episodes. So
was I sober on that episode?
Probably
not.
Maybe.
Yeah, I doubt.
Maybe.
No, it was. It was absolutely brought up, and I will later on when we start talking about this, I will say what I would love to see next year.
Okay. So, other than the stuff with the raid base, which has gone over now, Shadow Ops campaign progress is here. Fallen Angels unlock the Siege Squadron and the Ravagers by earning 8 standard Siege Squadron parts obtained by blah, blah, blah. Like the Condor of the Siege Squadron will repeatedly strafe over your enemy's command center, wreaking havoc until it is destroyed or the battle is won. While in battle, the Siege Squadron will continually drop new units like Ravagers that are fully controllable and do not add capacity.
Nice.
The longer your Siege Squadron spends flying above the battle, the more Ravagers join the fight.
Wow.
That one's going to be hilarious to watch. Okay, of course, the standard Shadow Ops thing, it runs for a total of 3 months. Each month will contain 3 to 4 phases, which last for 72 hours. You must complete Tier 3 in 8 of the 10 phases to unlock the Siege Squadron. During the time, specific targets must be destroyed to score points and earn prizes. And he's actually listed the phases of the Shadow Ops. That's phase 2 and 3. Okay.
He shows us an end time for phase 3, but it doesn't give us an end time for phase 2.
Well, they all start and end on the Friday at 10 a.m.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Because phase 3 would be the start of the event. And it's actually 11:59 p.m. PST on the Wednesday, not Thursday.
Yeah, well, that's why
Right.
59 seconds in there. Because it's... Oh, no, you're right. Well, no. It's one second before midnight. Yeah.
It's 1 second before midnight, so it would be Wednesday, not Thursday.
Yes.
Because if it was 1 second before midnight on Thursday, it would be Friday, and the event would already be a day in.
Right.
Just a little caveat, he's the new guy, so I'm going to give him a little bit hazy for his first mistake. It's a little one, and I mean, it's the tiniest, minuscule mistake. You got a day wrong. That's it. But I'm still going to mark you down for it.
Yep. I thought it was a full stop he missed.
'Cause-
Oh.
72 hours to complete the campaign. We all know how Shadow Ops works. I don't know why I'm bloody reading that crap.
Yeah. No need.
Shadow Ops points, blah, blah, blah. The arms cache price system, we already know what the arms cache is for the technicals is going to be. But the new guys actually put images, actual pictures.
And?
Look at that.
Full descriptions.
Yes!
Yes.
Descriptions.
Level descriptions, all of the good shit.
He doesn't just say, this is what it does, and then you don't know what upgrading it gives you.
That is pretty.
I love this guy.
Pretty to just look at right now.
Mm-hmm.
I could just say, to be perfectly honest, my current desktop image for my desktop background is an old piece of art from Vega Conflict from like the beginning of last year because I like it so much. And this is one of those kind of art pieces that I would consider replacing my current desktop image with, just because it looks so good.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing better than looking at a good piece of artwork. I'm sorry, I've gone way off track here, but
Just
straight into the arms catch before I get distracted any further.
Arctic Tires off track. There you go.
Arctic Tire straight off the bat, which is the bronze. Of course, it's all for the technical stuff. But the effects, the level 1 increases immunity to cryo, and increases movement speed by 5% for level 2. And again, grants immunity to cryo and increases movement speed by 10% for level 3.
Nice.
Question there, Phil, sorry. The upgrade times for each level.
12 hours, 1 day, and a day and a half.
Dead on, thank you. They're reasonable.
Because all of the new faction, the Generation 2 faction unit tech is the same.
It's the same then. That's dead on, thank you there.
12 hours, 1 day, 36 hours for level 3.
That's not bad, I'll tell you.
It isn't. It really isn't. Okay, we got grip tires, which is grants 20% faster turning speed, 30% faster turning speed, and 50% faster turning speed. That's not too shabby. Streamline plating, which is decreases damage taken by 15% while moving at level 1, 20% at level 2, and 25% at level 3. Reinforced plating decreases damage taken by 30% while stationary, 40% and 50% in the recurring levels.
Nice.
Might be the
Nice. This is actually some nice, useful tech.
Like that last tech there, I think that might be a good one.
I like that I like the massacre training icon. I would like to use that as a desktop icon for.
I quite like that one myself.
That's pretty cool.
Of course, this one increases damage to buildings by 10% at level 1, 20% at level 2, and level 3 applies busted status and increases damage to buildings by 20%.
That's the one you want to bring them into a PvP basis.
Yeah. Toxic weapons handling. Just the name of it just sounds cool. But of course, this one attacks apply corrosive status for 5 seconds at level 1, 10 seconds at level 2, and 15 seconds at level 3. And now we're going into the brand new unit. This is a brand new Shadow Ops prize.
Oh.
I mean, we're not going to see this till fucking January, but...
We were asking for a Condor that dropped units.
And we are going to get it.
Correct. If I remember.
It was way back, but we were saying we were asking for air to drop troops, and then we were spitballing different units we'd like to see. And one of the things we asked,
do you know what this is?
Can't the Condor do that?
This is the dropship.
It is. You're right.
Yes, it's the dropship plane, but it's the Condor idea.
It looks like a C-52, to be honest. It's a troop transport.
Mm-hmm. The tail wing, the twin fin tail wing, always gives it away.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they used in the dropship.
I think
figure.
Is that 2 slots for the troops jumping out, or are they potential 2 slots for
this
heavy
thing
guns?
has something unique to itself. It's, again, fixed-wing flight, which automatically executes strafing runs at target enemy command centers and will continuously release drop pods. The drop pods deal damage on impact and releases the Ravager onto the battlefield. And the formation, now this is where it gets a little bit crazy.
This is where your upgrades
only
are gonna be vital.
has 3 levels.
Love that.
Normal, Elite, and Omega.
Wow.
Level up to add planes to the squadron's formation. I'm assuming the normal one is only the 1 plane, where the Elite is 3 planes, and the Omega is 5 planes.
Wow.
So basically, you're getting the Raining Blood Op at Omega with this unit.
Well, considering the Raining Bloods of Op is a little bit useless these days, yeah, I wouldn't say it was that.
I'm just saying the five planes coming in. I mean, Omega's what? Raining Blood's what? 6 Raptors.
Just before there, right at the normal unit, what do you think the repair time will be for that?
A day, I bet.
Well, this is also a faction connected unit.
No,
it's not.
It is
yes,
not.
It is. No, it is. It's a Sentinels unit. It's a Sentinels air unit.
It's
Where
not.
does it say
Is it
Sentinels?
Sentinels or Survivor?
It's not attached to any faction.
He posted that the unit, the
No, he
Siege
didn't.
Squadron, is aligned with the Survivors. Excuse me, Survivors. But any faction.
Have you got a forum post on that?
Yeah,
I see that?
I'll give you.
Yeah, can you?
716314, page 1 from Bernie himself. I will put it in the side chat
Put
for
it in
you.
the side chat. Let me have a look.
Let's
Because
see.
I had an argument with somebody about this earlier on.
It is well.
If I can get confirmation on it, it'd be great because it's not actually in the list.
No, it's
There
not.
you go, sir.
Dankeschön.
Danke schön. It was actually a question posed by a player, and Bernie responded at 2:41 p.m. today.
Yep, I'm looking for it right now.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Right on. Right bang on there. Siege Squadron is aligned with the Survivor units. Well, that's
We
interesting.
wanted Survivor Air, right?
We
Another Survivor Air.
It's funny. Me and Anton had this discussion not so long ago about what would come next in the Shadow Ops, and the only things we were missing was a Survivor Air and a Corpus Ground.
Yeah.
Yes.
And those
Someone
are the
said
only
they
two
weren't
things
going to drop.
And
And
we
I
Someone
just
said
got,
they
but
weren't going to drop 2 air.
I didn't think it would be Survivor Air because our last one was an air, so I thought it'd be Corpus Ground.
yeah, but we also got, we've got this new ground, and that's just decimating everything. It's an excellent ground unit, so they need
a
that B
comparable
word
air
to
unit to go.
compromise. Yeah,
Comparable. It's not that we're not using the B word. Comparable is the acceptable term.
yes.
Hey man, I'm happy. Give me more surviving units. I'm always happy.
It's good. It's a good thing, and we'll go back into the Siege Squadron. Now we've actually, if he'd have put that in there and can go and edit it in there at some point, it'd be great. Just to stifle that question in case it's gonna pop up 1,000 fucking times. Because not everybody reads the discussion thread. Hell, that's how I didn't know it was, because I don't read the discussion threads, because usually it's a toxic bullshit nightmare of fuck Kixeye a lot.
Yeah.
I only look for responses. I don't read anybody else's posts. I just wait for the response when I see it.
Yeah, I've got into a habit now of reading replies specifically from Bernie just to see what he does. And I picked up a good one earlier on where one guy went out there and replied to his support ticket in the forums in the general discussion, which you're not allowed to do, mind. That he wasn't happy with a specific member of CS's response. And I didn't see the original post, and it would have been funny to see what the guy had posted originally. But in nice pink blocks, edited by CM Bernie.
Yeah, I saw that one there. You know what I mean? He became accountable for the person who removed it.
Yes. Edited by CM Bernie, and the close thing at the bottom for a vulgarity, which is I didn't see what the original post was, and I would have liked to see what the guy was saying, but obviously that's not a thing I can do. But we'll crack swiftly on, and of course we've got Swiftwing flights and the 3 levels on the Siege Squadron. But what it drops is interesting the way Kixeye have done this, and you'll see why in a minute, because I applaud them for doing it this way, because it doesn't tie up my fucking tech center for 3 fucking goddamn months. That's why. But the Ravagers is a standard infantry class. Obviously, it's Survivor because it's being dropped from Survivor Air. It's dropped continuously by the Siege Squadron, can strike both ground and air targets. Upgrade Ravagers to level 40 separately from the Siege Squadron. Of course, from 1 to 20, you'd get in the normal, 21 through 30 in Elite, and 31 through 40 in the Omega Siege Squadron. So you upgrade the infantry rather than upgrading the unit itself.
But you have to upgrade the unit to get and unlock those levels of the infantry upgrade path, I would assume, because you have to have the Omega version to get 31 through 40.
And of course, with the way Kixeye run Shadow Ops, you're not going to see the Omega version for about 6 months.
So you see the what do you call them? The Ravagers. So they are a Survivor unit.
They will be Survivor classified infantry, yes.
So they can only be used for this new Shadow Ops.
You don't build Ravagers.
You don't build them, you just upgrade them.
You just upgrade the Ravager in order to use them with the Siege
How
Squadron.
many can go in the new Shadow Ops?
As many as fits in that goddamn plane, because it continuously drops.
Be like Mercs. Do you just instantly build them, or what way is it?
No, it just drops them.
It just
It
drops
works
them.
like a phantom. Think of like a phantom, but every single one of those bombs deploys a Ravager.
It's probably not going to be continuously like the Phantom.
It won't be as many bombs, but it's along those lines. You have to
by
think
the
of.
looks of it. You don't actually build any of the infantry at all. You only build the squadron unit.
Yeah,
and you don't even have to target it.
You're building the plane. You're upgrading the plane, and you're upgrading the units that drop from the plane. So if you think of it, you're upgrading the plane itself from its 3 levels: regular, normal, elite, or omega, to gain the quantity of planes deployed. And you're upgrading the units, the Ravagers, like you would upgrade the missiles.
So say it's 10, 20, 30. So you just upgrade there. So as soon as that plane can fly, even if it's micro-heeled, if it's ready to fly at level, say the normal 10 guys will jump out at level, the elite will drop out 20 and the mega will drop out 30. If it flies,
something along those lines, I would think. Because when you get it to elite, you have 3 planes dropping Ravagers, and an omega you get 5.
Yeah, so...
And it's a continuous strafing run.
So it could be 10, 30, 50 sort of thing.
It could be huge. Or it could be minimal. You could get 1.
I doubt it. Then again, we're speculating, and we haven't incurred what the actual health qualities are of these units. So you might have a high quantity, which certainly is advantageous for taking a base. But again, they could be toilet paper and tissue. And
here, I tell you what, I hope they'll land over in Ireland there, because the wind's always blowing and they'll never hit my base.
Every 5 minutes, they're going to stop to pull their hair together and put it up in a bun because the wind's just ruining their split ends.
So wet over here that they'll just get bogged down. No chance.
Well, yeah, and that's something that I was fearful of with all the issues with lag and such.
Somebody has got their mobile phone near something, and I can hear it.
It's not me.
But it's not happening now, so we're good.
Not me. My phone is dead.
Yeah, I was wondering what it was. I needed doxing because I thought it might have been him, but it's not.
I dropped my phone in water.
I smashed my phone while I was out at Halloween.
My phone is upstairs.
Well, my phone's in a bag of rice.
Nice.
So you're trying to get the agents to come over and fix it for you? Is that what it is? I'm going to hell for that one.
You know people are going to be begging for repeats on Shadow Ops to try to get this thing as fast as they can. And I hope Kixeye does not do it like
if they do
it. I hope they continue like they've done, and there's no repeats until the last round.
Yes. Repeat for tech. I'll repeat the fuck out of it.
Repeat for tech is fine, but because the tech is all for the technicals, and depending on how bad these bases are, I may repeat for technical tech myself. But I always hated when they would let you just repeat. And week 1, somebody had the new unit and they were killing you with it, and it's like, damn, not all of us are strong enough to repeat like that.
If they space it out nicely, it won't be a pain in the ball sack.
As you were saying there, from there, it's spaced it out nicely. Like, if people started from the last event there and started upgrading their technicals, most people will be level 3, level 4, level 5 technicals without having to spend any gold, so they can put 2 tech on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's worked out really well this time. If they can space it out the same way, it'll be perfect.
Well, if they space it out the same way, I'm looking at the calendar now. Between Shadow Ops runs Friday the 3rd, the 10th, the 17th, because the event is running through the 24th.
Remember, we had to send our war dogs in at level 1 to do that base, and we had to send in like 17, and come back with 3 hours damage. You know what I mean? That was a lot.
Well, here's another thing. You're not going to have to repair these troops that drop out of this plane.
Right, just the plane.
I run it as you can't do any repeats until the 9th, until the last phase, so to speak. And you manage to get the 8 weeks of every part in that week. It's going to actually take 10 weeks because of the event weeks that run in concurrence with the ops base itself. But if they do it that way, you won't see one until January 5th.
Okay.
If they play it the right way. Now, if Kickside don't, and they offer repeats in the middle, it's going to throw off my clock, which I would highly recommend they did not do, because I don't like people screwing with my G. Especially Kickside, which is why there's a Thursday show instead of doing the updates on a Wednesday, which would have been much preferable to my time calendar.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I agree, Dr. Phil. I was like, damn it, really? Can they not get back on frickin' schedule?
Well, it's
updates on Wednesday, Kickside. That's when you should be doing the maintenance and the updates. Wednesday.
I just wish we knew that they were
everything's changing, guys. They might change it to Wednesday now or Thursday. You never know.
Well,
yeah,
they did that
before, and when I changed the date I changed the day of the show to the Thursday to accommodate the new day of the updates, and then Kickside the following week put it back to Wednesday.
Went back to Wednesday. But again, wasn't it a similar situation like we just had where we had the event and then a mini event right after that? And I think and then some invasion or some stuff right after that instead of onslaught. And I think that's what threw it off.
This is what annoys me with Kickside when they do shit like this. They throw a back-to-back 3 events. I mean, I really could not be fucked to do Onslaught. I mean, I only finished it in the last 12 hours because I couldn't be bothered with it. I mean, the first Resurrection, I spent 2 days out of my own fault. I know that now, but I didn't then, and it pissed me off. And so I didn't play it. And through the entire rest of the first event, I just had no heart to do it. Nightmare was almost the same thing. I missed 2 days because of reasons in personal life. I know a bunch of other stuff that was involved in that, and I burnt myself out running 30 straight hours of Resurrection, the Nightmare, just to get what I wanted to get. I could have gotten more out of it if I wanted to, but by the time it got to about 4 or 5 hours before the event finished, I was so burnt to the world, I couldn't be bothered. I just didn't want to play it anymore. And then as soon as that had finished, they throw out Onslaught. And it's like sitting there on a really bad day where you're just flagging the entire time. So I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Because the more content you try and shove down a player, the more likely they're just going to resist and say, fuck it, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I hope they don't do that again anytime soon, because it really was too much. Now, I have to say I enjoyed Onslaught only because it gave me a chance to play with the technicals and kind of get a feel for them and what they can do, because I hadn't messed with them because we got them in the event and didn't have time to build anything or do anything. Then the mini event, and didn't really have time to play with them. But Onslaught let me do that. That and that Jug War paint was kicking. I liked it.
I was going to ask real quick if we wanted to revisit, because I know Anton was saying some stuff, and I just read through some things that clarify. Because you were talking about the levels of this new unit in relation to how many of these troops get deployed, and that's not necessarily the case. You were making assumptions like it dropped 5, 10, and there'd be so many, there'd be like 50 units in the base. That's not exactly accurate. So from what I'm reading over, because a gentleman asked the questions and it was responded again by CM Bernie. From what it appears, he asked whether the pods could be targeted. And Bernie says not to his knowledge. So as far as he knows, the pods will not get targeted. They can't get shot out of the sky like missiles are. 2, The pods will continue to drop so long as your Siege Squadron unit is alive. The level of either your the question was, does the level of the Ravager or the squadron unit affect the number of pods released and thus affect the number of these Ravagers? And Bernie replies that the level of the Ravager does not affect the number, the quantity of Ravagers that are deployed. However, the level of your squad unit, the plane, will affect the drop rate of the pods. So the pods drop based on a distance of its strafing run. So over a certain distance, and I'll use these as hypotheticals. So say over the length of a base on a diagonal, if the standard normal siege squadron drops 10 pods, the elite drops 15 pods, and then your Omega would drop 20 pods over that same distance. So the level at which you've attained your siege squadron is going to relate to how your drop rate of these pods are, and thus that will exponentially increase the number of units that are deployed. The longer you can keep your unit alive, the more these pods will deploy, because the strafing runs continue until the unit itself dies. So that's the best answer I can give, because I know you said you were talking about hypotheticals about numbers, but at least now you get an understanding of how it would work.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's
can't
gonna.
assume
I'm not sure. I was going to say. I'm not sure it is going to increase the drop rate itself.
it says
Actual
that
squadron.
he says that's what it increases. He says that it increases the
I
drop
think
rate.
he meant it in the sense that because you end up like when you go from normal to elite, you get an extra 2. So I think that's maybe what he meant.
No.
That's not what he says. I'm taking him verbatim.
Oh,
from
That's
what he's
per
stating.
unit.
okay, Ben,
Because
I'm
then
there.
you get 3 units rather than 1.
Ben, I'm
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'd actually triple
break it down,
your-
Ben, I'm there. So what you think he says there in plain English? What you think?
Well, obviously we're understanding that as you go up in elite from normal to elite to Omega, you're going to increase the number of planes doing strafing runs. So thus the number of pods is going to increase, because you're dropping twice as many under elite with 2 planes,
And
or
does a
3
pod
times as many under Omega, or
does
5.
a pod mean a pod of soldiers dropping down? Or
Well,
is that,
yeah, that I can attest to. I don't know how many are deployed from each pod that explodes, and that's something that we
I
can't
think a pod is
speculate on.
10. I think a pod is 10.
Okay, so then again, using my hypothetical, if a normal one drops 10 of them, that would be 100 in base, and then your elite drops twice as many, so that'd be 200, and then the other one drops 5 times as many. Over that same strafing run. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm just trying to
And
dissect and digest this.
and Fear and Phil, what's your take on that? There, what do you?
I will wait for more information.
Because like he says,
Yeah.
the question is how many pods get dropped, and do the level of either the Ravager or the squadron affect the number? And verbatim he states, there isn't any fixed amount of drop pods that can be released. It all depends on how long your siege squadron lives for. Ravager levels do not affect the amount of dropped pods. Ravagers, what makes the difference between them?
I have a way to fix all of this. Kickslight, please release a promotional video for this unit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or a
Problem
preview,
solved.
or a
Right.
preview server, if
3
possible.
months out, try this.
Oh yeah, release it in the. Let us go play with it in the preview server.
Now, I have a comment about that, actually. I need to go find where it got made. Somebody said something to me about it earlier, and I got to go find it. Give me 1 second.
I'd actually like that if Kickslight, every time they bring out like the new Shadow Ops unit, give us
Expect
a little
preview.
snippet of the video. Not necessarily a preview.
Preview.
Expect a preview. Okay.
Expect the preview.
I would say I would
McQueen.
have to say, with something this complex in tactical nature and in our control, because once these pods do explode, these units are controllable. The only thing that's no longer controllable is the actual air unit that does its own strafing run, similar to the Condor.
There is a large reply from a community member from CM Bernie himself a couple of hours ago, and the guy had asked a bunch of questions. And here's the thing: he's had asked about the Sea Squadron, the pods, and the Ravagers themselves. Will you require to get more parts for every level? Blah blah blah. But you will need to obtain elite parts to unlock the elite, and omega parts for the omega parts. And that's that bit. What kind of tech? Unfortunately, he doesn't know. The unit have its own source of damage, or is it dependent on the drop pods? It's dependent on the drop pods and Ravengers.
Again, a higher level Ravager, I'm sure they're going to have higher DPS.
I would assume as so.
Yeah.
Guys, just basic information there, and that they're just on Google. A pod can be a size from 6 to 40, so that would tie in well with the Omega.
Well, okay, look, a pod is a container. Okay, it does. The pods are just the pods; they're just a container. I don't know if it's going to be.
If they're going to do drop pods, they're going to be in some way similar to the way the old Mercs dropped in.
Precisely,
because they did drop in through drop pods.
Yeah, and they do a damage as they land.
It's minuscule nowadays, but back then it wasn't so much.
I think it would be 10, 20, 40
per pod. The thing. But you understand, you got to rationalize this. You're saying 10, 20, and 40 per pod, but it drops more than one pod per run. It's going to drop similar to the Phantom.
The same way the Orbit Shock Troopers do that. It'll be one trooper per pod.
I could say one on the normal. If it increases the quantity in the pod as you upgrade to elite, maybe 2, and then it probably maxes out at 3 or 4. I can't see it doing more than 4, because if you're doing 10 or if you're doing 8 in a pod, and it can strafe and drop, hypothetically, can drop 10 pods in one run and live, and you come back and you do your second strafe and it drops another 10, you're looking at dumping hundreds
of Ravagers on a base. That would be insane.
I'm sorry to play devil's advocate, but going back, put 1,000 ERMs in your base back in the day and see the lag. Now drop 100 of these moving controllable units, and you're telling me it's not going to crash every base? Not every base.
It's going to be majority of the players. The lag will be ridiculous. It will be ridiculous.
So err on the side of caution and give them hope that they're not insane.
You're exactly correct there. That's the questions I ask. Sometimes you'll never
like
have an answer there. You don't
love it, Anton.
And that's why you have to. I'm not saying you're wrong or you're right, or you're never wrong or you're never right. That's just how about nice debates.
Absolutely, that's what I love about it, and I mean that's why I love the question. I don't ever dismiss things, but I'm just like I want to absolutely give credence. You have an awesome idea, and I think it's great. But I'm on the same side. I'm like, please kick side. don't drop 10 per pod and 4 pods.
Yeah, don't drop 360 of these daggone things in our bases, and like you said, watch the lag just get extremely bad.
But also Kickside might not drop non-laggy units. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's very true. They might drop. These units might not cause that much strain, so it might be beneficial. Until we get a preview and can play with it and have it in real time, it's great to hope.
It is.
It would be really cool if it dropped like 5, 10, 20, or 10, 20, 40. That would be fucking sweet, especially if it's, like I said, if it's tissue paper planes, even at Omega, if it's a tissue paper plane in our bases with all the AA we have, with this new anti-air tech on our technicals, with avalanches, because this is, I'm assuming, again, this is not a high altitude plane, so it's not a air only. Yep. So you've got libs shooting at it, you've got
libs shooting at it, Spartans, acolytes, technicals,
Hades,
phalanxes.
So now here's something, and I'm only bringing this, and I almost even hate to ask it, but it's because of what Cyclonius just said in the chat. Do you think that we might possibly see these in the Christmas event?
No.
You don't think?
Not that soon.
I do not think
I
so.
would speculate.
Well, I know
And
we're not going to see it in Thanksgiving because that's just a month away. But Christmas at Christmas time now will be almost.
Oh, you know what?
We'll be closer to it being done because, well, at that point, well, if we're on the schedule that Dr. Phil came up with, we would end that the week after, or 2 weeks after Christmas.
Well, this is what cost Dr. Phil 93 million for, you know, man. I have to change my careers over again, so it's there.
If my calendar is correct and Kickside don't have any repeatable Shadow Ops between now and the end of the Shadow Ops phase, which would be January the 19th, which would be the end of phase 10, or the start of phase 10, actually. So it would be it's somewhere around those lines, giving 1 week out for the event. It will end up being the 26th of January is the final phase, would be the final phase, sparsing out the week of the event.
Yeah, because we're going to miss another week. We're going to miss another week because of the Christmas, the December event.
Real quick. I want to say this. I will go on a limb and say I would really like to see this unit in our Christmas event. However, not as a working unit, dropping these what are they called again? These freaking
Ravagers.
I would like to see it fly over our bases in the Christmas spirit and drop Christmas trees, just like our Phantoms dropped Christmas presents.
Oh, that'd be cool. That would be cool.
Whiskey, I want them to drop.
or candy canes. Or something.
Can they just drop us some gold? That'd be better.
That's
sorry,
but you know you're going to get coal now.
You should.
I get coal every year, so what do I care?
January the 26th, Phil. Can anybody work out there if they get their Elite Herald, say on Sunday?
If I got my Elite Herald on Sunday, as of this date, and I did it straight to level 30, we're looking at 5 to 12, 19, 26, the 3rd of December, 10th, 17th, 24th, 31st, and the 7th of January, I would have it at level 30.
So there you go. That's a perfect time, I think. I think that's excellent. So I think everybody's got enough time to make it go Omega, whether they've got their Mega parts or not, but get it to level 30.
Bearing in mind, it hits at level 31, so it would be 9 weeks out instead of the 10. So it would actually end up being, if you were on the target, you would end up having it on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, so you have a little bit of flexibility to upgrade a Bonesaw or an Apollo or a Valiant or whatever it is.
The only downside to that is it's not going to happen for me because I've come. The next thing that happens for me with what kicks I've done is if I do it from now until the 5th, my blackout is going to be going to level 10 a little bit later on because my hanger's almost done for the day. Excuse me. I've committed to getting my blackout to level 20. That's my next aim. Now, if I do grab the Elite Herald parts, I will put the Herald straight to Elite and then continue getting the blackout to level 20. And then do the Herald after that. So I've probably got to add another 3 weeks onto the end of that before I consider doing the Elite Herald to Omega. So there's a fair amount of time in between to make the decision. You don't have to make the decision overnight. I mean, unless you're as anal as I am and you write everything down. It's like most of the stuff that's in the tech center for me under the vehicle section is still low down because I'm committed to getting my jug to Omega, which is another 3 weeks out.
Wow. Yeah.
Because that jug's a bastard.
Yeah, I like my jug. Yeah, my blackout is 13, and it's holding on the off chance that I get the rest of my Omega Sandstorm bases today. I don't think so, but anyway. But no, and Leary, actually, and I'm going to throw this out there. Kixeye, if you're listening, and this is actually would be really, really cool. The day after Christmas, free repair, 1 day for all of us. 1 day. Just free repair. That could be your Christmas present to us. That would be
God.
a free for all day. Go do whatever, hit whoever, have a great time, and everybody's free repair. I like it.
I'll be
I like
too
it.
hungover for New Year's.
I said the day after Christmas, not the day after New Year's.
Well, I'll be hungover
Okay,
from
that's
Christmas.
your
I'll be
second
hungover
mistake,
from Christmas.
Newblet.
I'll be hungover from Christmas.
I will
through New
still
Year's.
be asleep on Boxing Day. There ain't no way in hell I'm playing War Commander.
Oh, you'll be out. If they gave us free repair for that day, everybody would figure out a way to play that day.
Yeah, you mean all 6 people who don't have families?
Well, I gotta work the day after Christmas.
So do I.
mean, you know,
That's okay then.
but I would figure out a way to play. I would think maybe I might have a sick day for the first time in 5 years.
No problem. Free repair.
I just think it would be fun.
It'd be hilarious.
I mean, Larry brought it up. I thought I'd throw it out there. We know, Kix does listen to him and listen to our show, and they take our advice sometimes. I just think it would just be a nice thing, and it would make it fun for everybody.
I would throw 6 plats of whatever the fuck I could get at Lonnie's base for shits and giggles.
No shit, me too, and I'll be right behind you. Let's pick on Lonnie Day.
And I would be welcome to it.
I know you would.
Yep, but it would be.
I would be a happy camper.
Yeah. Now Erwin said 100 gold for base expansion for Christmas. I don't see them doing that one. I don't know that they necessarily would.
Well, why don't we get if we got a full base expansion in? That kind of fucks that for everybody that's got it.
I got it. Yeah,
They've done base expansion discounts. They could do another base expansion discount. Unfortunately, for players like myself up in the top tier of the expansions, the discount isn't all that great, but anything's better than nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, last time they gave you 1 free, but it was down in the low levels. I think anybody who was like on their second got the 3rd base expansion, or 3rd got the 4th, and then above that, of course, you had to pay, but it was at a discount.
Yeah. I didn't get that free one either.
It would be nice just to get a coin that gives you, no matter what level you're at, that 1 coin gives you 1 free. You can go from, 6 to 7 or whatever. It doesn't matter.
The first base expansion these days is 1 gold. The second one is 50 and 100 and so on and so forth until you get all the way to spending a whole bunch of gold before the end of it.
Yeah,
I think I'm 2 away.
My next one is costs 250 gold. So it increases by 8%. That's where I'm at.
What's the last one? 350, is it?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I think I have 1 or 2 more expansions I can do if I want to spend the gold.
Because my next one is 300 gold, and I know I'm 2 away, so I have the 300 gold, and then whatever the following one is, and then I'd be maxed out.
Okay, so then I'm 3 away then. 3 away from being max base expansion.
I think 200 would be a good number, so it would be for your max. Really and truly, it would be. More people would buy that than not.
More people would buy it, and then everybody who's already done it would complain.
Exactly.
Well, they're going to complain no matter what, but if they've already done it, they've had the benefit of having it for so long.
I bought my car last year, and this year's car is faster than mine. You know what I mean? Well, what do you do? What do you do?
You go back to the dealership and you say, I want this replaced.
Yeah.
I want to replace with the 2027 model.
3 broken teeth and 2 black eyes and so on so forth there. I think I've changed my mind.
Yeah, 3 broken teeth and 2 black eyes and a night in the cells by the sounds of it.
Yep.
Oh.
And one
all right. So.
Shane, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that one too.
What you do, you have to. And, this last week while there's a lot of returning players.
Somebody, Axel actually, has asked for a introduction video for the.
There you go. Kudos to that gentleman.
Yeah, I know. I've known Axel for a while, and I honestly don't know. I don't assume. Usually, it goes. My first rule in gaming is assume everybody is a dude until proven otherwise. Because I know what guys are like, and there are enough blokes out there who pretend to be women, and I know full well that they aren't.
I know way too many characters in this game that are straight up 45-year-old men, and they're under the pose of, a 20-something female.
Chick. Yeah.
And they just do it just to annihilate the shit out of these big bravado guys in chat that want to be chat heroes and say they're level 45 and they're big Billy Badass, and then this, nondescript female comes in and flats the shit out of them.
You got flattened by a girl, no, kind of deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it's Joe Six-Pack and his beer sitting behind the monitor going.
Yeah. The other unfortunate side of that too, though, is some of them pretend to be young girls because there are some gullible men out there who will support them.
Oh yeah.
Yep, they'll gold them up, thinking that they're getting their little, hot little.
And you know what? I'll tell you what. The worst part of it all is the quality, skilled lady players out there that flat the shit out of dudes, and unfortunately, they don't get credit where credit's due.
No,
there's quite a few out there that will.
You hit the nail on the head there. There is a massive amount of lady players there that know a lot about this stuff there, and I've only learned this now in the last few months by just doing hangouts. And you see the knowledge that I've gained of them ladies there is unreal.
Some of them are rather ballsy.
There are some women out there that can kick your ass and make you cry. There's other women out there that are and I personally hate that they are so foul mouthed. I'm like, are you really a lady? Yeah. I don't think so. It drives me. But I mean, honestly, for if all of those badass women players, and I'm talking about the true badasses, the ones that will flat your ass and laugh at you, if they would all get together and form a team, y'all be in so much trouble. It would be a wicked ass team. It would be one of the baddest ass teams out there.
Crush them all.
Right. Unshackled men versus unshackled ladies. Here we go.
I'm not getting part in that fucking shit.
No. I don't want to humiliate my fragile male ego.
I have spent a long time buffing and polishing my ego, and I don't fancy getting any dents in it. Okay.
Well, I have no, I play this game for fun and I play this game for friends. I can't sit here and say I'm a badass, and I won't sit here and say I'm a badass because I'm not. I have a crap base. I don't attack worth a shit. I play for fun.
Same here.
And that's it for me. You're not going to see me posting flats and talking, crap. I don't do that.
I do all the time.
Oh,
I know you do.
Ronnie, if they give us free repair after Christmas, I swear to God, I will be there and I will kick your ass. I swear to God, if it takes every plat I have, I will kick your ass.
Every plat times 2.
Lonnie, I'm telling you right now, if they give us another gold reduction like they recently did, I will get $1,000, maybe $2,000 worth of gold. I will upgrade every gosh darn thing I can possibly upgrade.
Yeah, but seriously,
and still fell.
And I will just sit and I will come to your base and lose it all.
What's your PayPal? I'll send you a few bucks or so, will there?
You know what? I'll give you mine offline. I got a PayPal too. You can send me a few, and then we'll just go visit Lonnie and we'll have us a good old time.
I'll humiliate myself.
Save your money. Just give me $100. I'll remove my tunes.
I would humiliate myself as bad as I did when I was joking around giving Dava.
All the serious half about the base expansions there, like we've got 3 or 4 absolutely great guys that are not there. They're fantastic fighters, snipers not there, but they need to improve their base, and it's going to cost them absolutely maybe $100 to expand their base. It's mad.
We've talked about base expansions numerous times, and every time the suggestion has been made for base expansions, or even just a couple of free ones, even if it's just the first 2.
Exactly.
Even 2 expansions is better than none.
It would get you in the game. It would get you lovely something there.
To add to this, leverage for the argument. when this originally started, there wasn't as much a problem. We didn't have 5 power plants. We didn't have 2 helipads. We didn't have all these extra things.
You didn't have Lonnie's giant circular base to deal with.
Yeah. Okay, and notwithstanding the trophies, which take up space and reject where you can position things, but that is completely within the player's own personal taste. They don't need them. However, with the buildings that are in base, it does hamstring you to lacking the ability to be maneuverable in your design, to be somewhat defensive in certain aspects. I mean, it does really take a quality player to design a base that's very defensive. So adding the base expansion into this comment is a necessity to have space. It really is.
Let me go back to something I've mentioned before, and somebody mentioned it last night, actually. In Battle Pirates, you can actually scrap buildings.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, nobody uses res pumps anymore. You build them right at the start to get rid of the tasks and to build up a little tiny bit of res, so you can actually go out and start farming.
Mine hold 9 million a pop, and I'm telling you what, when I need to build a quick missile, and I have like fucking 5 million res, and I need just that little bit more, and I got 9 million in each pump when they're full, I love it.
Okay,
I never upgraded mine. I think I got one at level 3, and that's about it.
All right, I will. Again, I'm always the person that fucking sees the other side of the argument, but and I hate it because I sound like a fucking pain in the ass who just doesn't want to agree with anything. Again, what comes up with that is, yes, I love the idea of being able to scrap useless buildings, and in certain aspects of the game, there's a lot of stuff that's absolutely useless. But again, it changes the percentages in what buildings are damaged to get your full bubble, and more point, rather than scrap it outright, and rather than give individuals the ability to scrap, it has to be across the board. All players lose half of their pumps, and the remaining pumps do double the process. That would work better to me. It gives you the space, but it does not at all change the quantity of res that you're still gaining for those who still use it, and it doubles the value of those buildings so that when you kill them, you're still.
Then, of course, Kixeye would need to figure out how the fuck to scrap something in War Commander, which they haven't been able to figure that out yet. Followed by the same bug that's still pissing me off with the damaged Night Owl in my silo. Yeah. If support can't fucking do it, who the hell can?
I'm sorry.
They yanked that motherfucker out of there since a while now. Because it's been sat there damaged in that silo for 18 months. And
my girlfriend can't put nothing or take nothing out of her drone silo.
Yeah. So even if I wanted to put yellow jackets in there, I couldn't.
God, you can't.
I took my yellow jackets out. I didn't really care for them in there.
I don't care for them anyway, but I was using them as a definition of it. But it's one of those things. If you can't fix up something that actually is useful and works.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's have a look at this one.
It's a damn drone silo. It's vital to our defense.
Yeah, it is. And if you can't use half of it, then what's the fucking point?
Hell, she can't use half of it. I mean, that's a big part in defense. I mean, when them owls get out there pounding on something, it'll fuck some shit up.
But if they're already going out damaged, they won't last as long.
Right.
And it's
just annoying. She got a drone silo that has nothing in it at all. She can't put nothing in it.
Ouch.
Yeah, so it's just fucking pointless sitting there, taking up space.
And usually the way to fix something like that would be to get rid of the building and then put it back in. Yeah. You'd have to rebuild it, but that's usually the way to do it.
She would be fine with that. The first upgrade's like fucking 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's only. I think hers is only level 2.
putting it in is free, and the second upgrade at level 2 is 10 minutes. Because I've done that quite recently, because I've just had the drone silo in there, I've just never done anything with it. Because my base is so fucking chock full of stuff that I need to get done, I haven't got around to them.
I think everybody's base is getting that way. Even mine's that way. I mean, I got a lot of upgrades in my base. I mean, I may have a high upgraded base. I may not have as much as you or others, but I still got a lot of shit I got to upgrade.
Yeah.
Well, the res pumps and producers I have.
I've only been 2 times have I ever been to the point of pulling the dust off of my dozer and setting it aside. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been able to do that. Now my academy, on the other hand, that motherfucker's always on idle, it seems.
Yep, mine too. I finished the chaplains, and there's nothing left to do in mine at all, other than useless crap like the Vanguard and just weird stuff that.
No, I did all that stuff when.
Keep upgrading that there. Keep
give it a couple of months, and you'll get a crap ton of stuff to go in the academy, and that's what I like about the siege. The siege squadron itself is parts, so it's going to end up being res and thorium upgrade to the 3 levels that it has. But the main stake of the unit itself is going to sit in that fucking academy.
Good.
And just upgrade. And I can sit there and do that all goddamn day.
Yep, me too. Me too. Mine's doing nothing. It's been doing nothing for weeks now.
So I'll be seeing what the upgrade costs are going to be. So,
well,
and times.
Like every other Shadow Ops unit, it'll be 2 days from level 1 to level 20, and then 7 days from 21 to level 30, and then 10 days from level 31 to level 40.
And res value.
And
how much res?
100 mil.
Okay.
For the first set, 150 mil for the second set, and I think it's 200 for the third.
Well, that's not too bad.
No, that's not bad at all.
That's what I'm going. I'm going off the current stage. It could be up, it could be down. I don't know. I'm just basing that off what I already know. Mm-hmm. And to be fair, Kicks, I don't usually stray too much from the norm when it comes to Shadow Ops units. Especially with the time and the res cost for it. So that's... I'm not going to state it as an absolute, but I'll state it as speculatory.
Now, I remember the one time when Kickside did the little test gold deal where they made a lot of things so low to coin that I missed out on that. So much gold that night. It only lasted for about 6 hours.
That is such a sore point on me.
Because they didn't do it for a lot of people. A lot of people didn't even have it. And
I had it, but I couldn't. I had it, but I had a glitch. I couldn't buy gold.
That sucks. Man, I spent so much gold that night. I mean, it was only like 57 gold to coin a 9-day upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow! I don't think I was around for
that. I maxed all my bunkers that night. I maxed all my turrets. I maxed all my heavy platforms. But since then, we have gotten more heavy platform upgrades. I pretty much maxed almost everything, but a few upgrades that was unnecessary.
I mean, yeah, I know what you're saying, Owen, and I could agree with you, but my statement is purely speculative, and I'm just going off what we already know. It might be low down because it's infantry, but it might be the same. I don't know. I'm just using it as a marker for what I already know.
I really wish gold costs would go down, though. It needs to go down by a considerable amount.
Well, they keep saying that they're going to relook at the economy, and a lot of the shit in there isn't standardized. It hasn't been standardized for a very long time, and they're completely missing out on it. 4 hours on a plat, and you ended up spending 25 fucking gold on it. And I'm just sat there thinking to myself, why should I even bother? It's a complete rip-off. Why should I spend 25 gold when in reality it should cost me no more than 8? Maybe 9. That's been one of my biggest arguments.
Per hour and put it at that and make it no more, no less.
That's what it should be.
I would be completely fucking fine with that.
You go to Battle Pirates, and that's exactly what it is. You extrapolate the coin cost of Vega, and that's exactly what it is. The 2 gold, which is 20 cents. 20 cents to the dollar. It's the same in Vega. 1 hour is 20 cents to the dollar. Vega, Battle Pirates is 20 cents to the dollar. War Commander, it's all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
You upgrade a building, it's 20 cents to the dollar. But if I take 5 minutes and 30 seconds damage on Dina or Jericho, it's 2 gold.
If you take that much on a plat of freaking libs, you're paying 30, 40 gold.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, I've seen those costs and just get ramped up. I mean, what should be... it happened to me during one of the first run-throughs of the last event. I had a day and 6 hours of repair on my egg because I ballsed it up. And I don't really say I ballsed it up. And it ended up being somewhere along the lines of almost 90 gold if I wanted to coin it.
Oh, yeah.
That's 2 days worth of gold for me.
I know it's a free game and all that there, but my God, seriously.
The cost aspect of War Commander, I mean, yes, I know now that some units are more useful than others, so they have a higher repair cost, but it's the end don't justify the means. The ends do not justify the means when it comes to gold price. And the actual dollar cost of the gold is just fucking ridiculous. I mean, I know people are used to it and spending $199 for 2,400 gold and blah, blah, blah. Fucking ridiculous.
The gold costs per, because they're so sporadic and out of control and all over the place, are actually counterintuitive to players wanting to coin. They think that they have an idea on this, they have a handle on this, and they're actually coercing players into coining repairs and coining things. But because there's no standardization, there's no feeling of accomplishment, because you never know, you're not getting value. So you're extremely apprehensive to spend the gold.
If I'm not getting value, I will not do it.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. I mean,
look at the side chat.
Oh God, what am I looking at? Go ahead.
Just waiting.
Oh. You do that, and you get that on fucking video, and you send that motherfucker to me.
Is that who I think it is?
Yes, it is.
Is it really now?
Yes, it is. But of course, we don't bring that kind of shit back onto the show anymore.
No, we do not. But
yeah,
we're done with that shit. But yeah, Lonnie, that would be sweet.
However, I would like to see that.
Yeah, waiting. Me too.
It was like that when I got here, so I'm just waiting.
Just patience, dear boy, patience.
Yep, patience. Sorry, y'all.
Oh, I'm not sorry.
We went off on a.
I am not sorry one tiny little bit.
Well, we kind of went off on a tangent that maybe perhaps they didn't understand what we were talking about. I don't know.
Anybody in the know would understand. And I did click on Lonnie's screen, so it may or may not have popped up.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
That's okay. All's good. All's good. He's a good kid.
It's all in the nature of good old-fashioned PvP.
Yeah, it is.
And that's what we like. That's what we like to do.
Yeah, with some serves the flag. But anyway.
I don't know if everyone's actually muted himself or he's buggered off for 5 minutes. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Anton's not muted.
No, I was talking about you. You're not muted now, but...
Oh, yeah, no, I muted myself because I have noise in the background.
Ah.
It's almost... I think we've gone over everything.
Yeah, I think so.
Owes me $100. There we go.
Glorious.
Anyway.
So I think that's just about it. Venom, if you'd like to wrap up the rest of the show.
No, I don't want to.
You don't want to? Those are not the words.
All right. All right. Yeah, it's been it's been an hour and a half, and actually an hour and 40 minutes. So it is a decent time to lock up.
Yeah.
So last shout outs, anything you want to say, any chuckles, any words of wisdom, any stories, poems, I don't give a shit. Whatever the fuck you want to say. Take it away, Anton. Lift off, Anton.
Got that big announcement tonight, Doc?
Oh, yeah.
Here we go there, guys. Here. We're ready for takeoff there. Anyway, thanks everybody to the panel. Again, I'm honored to get the invite as well there. Thank you very much. Everybody on YouTube there, not there, they're asking all the questions and all the PMs. And that's why the crazy questions as well there sometimes there. It wasn't from me, it's from people PMing me there, which is good to see there. So is there people actually taking interest? And maybe tomorrow, a suggestion there, which I've got from a few people, could we do a show for the Shadow Ops whenever they first come out? Was a suggestion from a couple of people there. Would be good to see, maybe, for some lower levels.
I had absolutely thought about that in the back of my mind. Again, my personal position is I'm at work until 5:15 p.m. So I won't get home until 5:15.
But it would be nice if somebody could do that and represent the community as well. There, it'd be good.
Absolutely.
If somebody can do it, I'm sure we'll have a chat with the rest of the producers and see poll the audience, basically. If not, I'm sure City will have some videos out straight away because he's real good like that.
Yeah,
young Cindy, but I can reach a juggernaut very easily, so I can.
This is the one thing. This is the one thing that unfortunately is a problem. It's for a few more months or weeks, I should say. If these events and little things happened on weekends, it would be so much easier, and I would be right on top of having current, up-to-date, immediate postings and videos and streams. So, but we'll try to work something out. We've been working things out in my absence and Dr. Phil's absence. We try to work for the community. So, your suggestion is not falling on deaf ears. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say there, Anton?
Nope, that's all good there. Thanks for the invite. Thanks to the panel, guys. A good wee bunch there. Onwards and upwards.
Aye.
Doxing, you big furry fuck. What do you got? Got anything to say?
I think the monkey is sleeping.
Yeah, I think he hasn't said a goddamn word, so skip him.
Fine. All right, fuck you.
No, fuck you.
No. I said fuck you.
A shout out to myself, being so sexy and beautiful.
Oh, Jesus.
And to this bag of nerds I got beside me that I'm gonna fucking kill by the end of the night. Shout out to you, buddy.
Jack Sarah.
Who the fuck muted me?
I don't know.
Wasn't me.
You probably muted yourself.
I've been talking forever.
You muted yourself and never unmuted yourself. No wonder this was the best episode ever.
Bunch of bullshit.
Oh, no.
It's all because of my shout out from yesterday. I understand. Don't worry about it.
That was pretty epic.
Give it again then.
Doxing, you have the floor, please. I'll give you time to say anything that you may have missed out on. talking about.
I didn't miss that. Dude, I made so many comments throughout this entire show. Nobody heard a fucking word I said but my kids.
Oh dear.
He probably really didn't say a fucking word.
No, I'm playing on 2 computers, so my Hangouts is actually running on a laptop that's sitting behind me.
So,
I'm
So
playing.
you couldn't see none of the
So I
comments.
couldn't see anything. Yeah.
Damn it.
People's kids. Shout out to the mute microphone. Shout out to people who can't hear them.
All right, doxing, please. Any
Just go to
No,
the
I got
show.
nothing.
Sorry you weren't
You guys ignored me all show anyway, so fuck it. I got nothing to say.
All right.
Debo,
Okay.
just go through the show and insert your comments, where needed.
Yeah, you can go
Make a new video.
go
All the way
just
through the
go-
show again.
just go into the comments. Just go into the comments. Write in whatever you wanted to talk and timestamp it in relation to the videos.
No, you'll end up with 4 minutes 42. Fuck you. 5 minutes 52. Fuck you. 6.5 minutes. Fuck you. 18 minutes. I can't believe you fucking muted me, you bunch of bastards.
9 minutes 33 seconds dark meat. 9 minutes 38 seconds or white meat.
I'm sorry, doxing, that you missed out. Jack Sparrow, I think you were next.
Wake up, Jackie.
Lady Warrior.
Somebody knew him too.
Good. Lady Warrior. We're going to get through this before the top of the hour. Lady Warrior.
Oh, let's see. Shout out to the panel. Shout out to everybody out in YouTube land. Shout out to my friends in 115. Shout out to Sector 1. I'm coming to visit. That's it.
All right, I'm going to do mine. And I'm going to give Doc the final word. So my shout out is to the community and the viewers. Like and subscribe. Pay attention to our future shows. Get the alerts. Join the Unshackled page if you choose. We always like to inform and get information because without you, I don't know jack shit. Stay tuned. We might have another show tomorrow. We might not. I don't speak in definitive statements when it comes to stuff like that.
You're welcome to come, Debo.
Yes. And Debo, you're more welcome to be on the panel as long as you stay muted throughout the entire broadcast.
Real nice.
Just insert your comments in the chat.
Debo, I don't care what they say about you and how much of an asshole you really are. I love you.
There you go.
I do too, Debo. I love the way you dox people. It's because you dox people, bro.
All right.
You'd be doxing all the time, bro. You probably wouldn't got muted.
Okay. And my final shout out is to those who wrote to our new CM. Fuck, David's here. Wrote into the comments in the forums. Got some great answers from our new CM. A big shout out to him. And I wish him the best. And I hope to have fun chatting and learning and getting information from him in the near future.
They're throwing him in the fire.
Well, it is always feast and fire. I don't hold back. If you fuck up, we intend to explain that you.
I'll tell you what, though. So far, so good. I mean, look at the fucking update notes, for crying out loud. He's already done more work in one day than CM Slocko did his whole time at
I said in the preview, and I said in the pre-show, I said, he's earned points by giving the percentages related to the level of the unit. That's something we've been asking for. If he can add to that with not necessarily small things like this, but with larger scale, more important tech releases or unit releases, if he can add maybe a glimpse of the upgrade times or upgrade costs, or even a glimpse at the repair time from dead. If he could give that information at some point, that would be nice. With bigger scale units, like say the Shadow Ops main unit, or something like that. Doesn't have to be for every little insignificant little tiny thing that's added to the game. But big major game changers, that's always nice to really give the community the idea of whether or not it's worth toiling over the effort to unlock it, or whether it's something they can pass up for a more advantageous time to earn it.
Why do you keep using fucking big words? Stop that shit! Oh, I'm sorry.
With that, Dr. Phil.
Well, I got a couple of things on my agenda. of course, to the new guy, CM Bernie, which I go over. I've gone over some of the work you've done today, and I'm impressed so far. There's some tiny little things, just tiny, minuscule little things. A couple of mistakes here and there. It's your first day on the job officially, so I'm not going to go out and burn you for screwing up a couple of times. It's to be expected. You don't. Well, you said it yourself the other day. You don't know everything, and you're one of the first CMs to outrightly admit that you don't know everything, which I don't expect you to do. You're not on the design team. You're not on the the product or R&D or anything like that. You're the community manager, and so far your job as community manager has been nothing but exemplary. If I could write you a reference to state the same fact, I probably would. Of course, Wrongthink is currently on vacation, so you won't hear anything from him for at least a week, maybe more. I don't know how long he's taking out. And of course, I want to shout out to all of the panel, and of course to Lino Richie, right there. Give everyone a second to see that.
God.
Oh, why am I? Oh, I missed it. Oh God.
Thunder.
Oh, Jesus.
Shut the fuck up.
It's sex.
It's Lino Richie.
Holy shit, Richie, you did that thing.
That's some sexy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Moving on.
Of course,
I am not a ginger.
Oh.
I am not a ginger.
that's the wrong show, Haloni.
Thunder.
Thunder.
Was that
Shut
not
up,
the,
man.
was that not the He-Man? Was that not the He-Man?
Yeah.
No, it was not the He-Man.
That wasn't the He-Man
No, it's
outfit?
not He-Man. That's Thundercats. With the snort. Was it Snurk? Snort. What the?
I
I thought that
don't.
belt was from He-Man.
What was it?
I
Hang
thought
on.
it was too.
Snorlax.
Snorlax. Yeah.
No, that's a fucking Pokemon, you stupid idiot.
Hang on. It starts with a fucking B. I know that. Hang on. Snarf.
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 Okay, back on track. Let's
Back
not even
on
go
track.
towards Pokemon.
Shut up. That's twice.
I didn't do it.
Pika.
Shut up, faggot.
See? This is karma, bitch.
Hey, Doc, I'm going to send you a picture. This is the shit I used to collect when I was a kid.
We'll look at that in the after show because I can't fucking do it now. But
You'll shit yourself.
of course, I want to give a shout out to everybody on the panel this evening, everybody on the YouTube, and the big announcement that is I've been sitting on all fucking night is as of a week on Saturday, I'm bringing back the bandwagon. I'm bringing back bandwagon jump team, and we're gonna go out. We're gonna go fucking trash some shit. We ain't gonna do it live. I'm not gonna do it live on a show because it just gets boring after 2 hours. But this bandwagon was the proper way to really go out and level sector after sector. And it wasn't one day jump in, jump out, fuck off. When bandwagon went in, we were there for a fucking week.
When I used to run it, that was my baby boy. I had that thing going for years. It's still got a name. It's still got a page. That's a lot of people still know that name around.
We're bringing it back. And we're going to do it. And we're going to do it in style. So stay tuned.
You going to do it for a week?
Oh, yeah. When bandwagon goes out, we'll be in that sector for a whole fucking week. None of this jumping in, jumping out, sissy fucking bullshit. When we go in for the full week, just like we did in the old days.
That's how we used to do in the old days. I mean, that's how we had to do.
Nice.
And that was the fun part, because you were on there smashing day in and day out, not just jumping in for your weekly and then fucking off back home again. You go in there for the full week and you sit there and you smash anything you come into contact with. Bases, platoons. Hell, I spent 3 days just plat fighting because they kept trying to jail me.
And of course,
luck with
steal
that.
all the Reeds departments.
Ready
Steal all
to
the
dance,
Reds.
yeah? We're all ready to dance.
We're ready to dance. We're ready to dance. And of course, the last thing I want to mention, just remember your days for the Elite and Omega Herald parts and the Standard Herald. November the 5th, November the 12th, and November the 19th. If there is going to be a show to do a Shadow Ops tomorrow, I don't know if I'm actually going to be around for that, but if I am, I will get on board with it and try and run it myself if somebody doesn't beat me to it. If not, then sack up, Princess. You'll have to find out your own way of doing it. Or wait for City to do a video.
All right.
And that'll be me.
Very much. Thank you very much. And with that...
And fuck you, David.
With that, to coin a phrase from our great SK, it's been great having you here. Come back again for our next show. We're War Commander Unshackled, and we're out, bitches. Peace.